In a world where time is an illusion and history is just a reflection of the past, photos emerge that challenge our understanding of reality. Modern celebrities caught on film in past eras, paintings from the past depicting future technologies, and even the arrest of a time traveler by the police from a time machine make us believe in the impossible. But do I have incontrovertible evidence? Join me in this exciting exploration where I will unravel the secrets of time travelers who may already be among us. From time to time, certain images gain popularity as examples of time travel photography. Let's start with the first snapshot. If anyone thinks that modern ecological issues are a recent concern, this photo will surprise you at the very least. These difficulties existed 120 years ago. Otherwise, what would be famous eco-activist Greta Thunberg be doing there? Well, of course, she would go back in time to capture herself among 3 children working in a gold mine in Canada. Greta's photo stormed the internet after social media users claimed that an old photo of a woman mining ore was actually a picture of the Swedish activist. The photo has sparked theories that Greta is a time traveler who has returned to save our planet. There are also suspicions of rapper Jay-Z, who takes a short break from the modern era and returns to Harlem in 1939. In this vintage photo, everyone's favorite madman, Nicolas Cage, is clearly visible during a brief stop in Tennessee around 1870. The photo appeared on eBay, and the seller claimed that Cage was actually a sort of vampire, capable of reincarnating every 75 years or so. But we don't know the truth. Unveil it to us, Mr. Cage. Or perhaps John Travolta will. After all, his image from the Victorian era also ended up on eBay. So, what is this? Just lookalikes, and the people who posted the photos on the internet auction just had a laugh? I don't understand the question and won't answer it. And in this painting, which can be found in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy, who do you think is depicted? Of course, Keanu Reeves. The canvas is titled Male Portrait, Vampire, or Time Traveler. Do we really need to be picky? But in this case, one of 3 things is happening. Either Keanu Reeves knows about time travel, or it's a top-secret cloning experiment, or the actor is immortal and feeds on the blood of young virgins every Halloween. The guy just doesn't age. As for which list to put Matt Damon on, you can write it yourself in the comments under the video. I'll just say one thing. A woman found a photo of her grandparents on their wedding day. She was surprised because her grandfather looked like Matt Damon. How would you explain that? Even the image of hundreds of Britons escaping the traumas of World War II sparked debates among time travelers. In a historical snapshot, families are seen relaxing on the sands of Cornwall in 1943. However, there's an obvious outlier on the crowded beach, who, as social media users claim, doesn't fit into this era. A man in a brown suit is seen standing and looking at an object in his hand, which appears to be a modern electronic device. It's no wonder some people laughed at these assumptions, arguing that he was just well-dressed and rolling a cigarette. You'll have to decide for yourself when you look closely at the photo. You might say that a photo can be edited and altered. I'll agree with you. But then, what about photos taken before the invention of the camera? They also have artifacts. Paintings by artists are the predecessors of photographs. In one of the paintings by a famous Dutch artist in 1670, experts found an astonishing detail. An image very reminiscent of a modern iPhone. This finding was personally announced by Tim Cook, the head of Apple. This unexpected combination of old painting and modern technology sparked many questions and discussions, confirming the uniqueness of this discovery. Previously, Tim was sure he knew everything about his products, but after what he saw, his confidence shattered. The head of Apple was referring to a painting by the Dutch painter Peter de Hoogh called Man Handing a Letter to a Woman in the Entrance Hall. The canvas depicts a man handing a letter to a woman. The way the message is held in the man's hands makes it look like he's holding an iPhone, and his index finger lies in such a way as if pressing the home button. Many might think this is a coincidence. But what will you say when you see this painting? The artwork, titled Mr. Pinchin and the Settling of Springfield, was created by Italian artist Umberto Romano in 1937 and depicts the arrival of settlers in the town in the 1620s. In this scene, a local Native American holds a small black rectangular object, similar in shape to an iPhone, and looks directly at it as if taking a selfie. The unusual object has puzzled viewers, and many have concluded that it could be a sign of time travel, as iPhones were not invented until 2007. It seems that gadgets from Apple were popular in every century after all. girls never parted with them. In a 19th century painting, a woman is depicted using an iPhone hundreds of years before its invention. She ignited the imagination of users who said she was a time traveler. The work of 1860, The Expected One, by Ferdinand Georg Waldmüller, is just evidence that modern technologies manifest themselves in historical photographs and works of art. It depicts a distracted young woman walking along a path on the prairie and a little boy who waits to present her with a flower at the next turn. But the pose and apparent unawareness of what awaits the girl ahead seem eerily familiar. It seems she's looking at her phone. However, skeptics argue otherwise. The girl in this painting by Waldmüller is not playing with her new gadget, but going to church with a small prayer book in her hands. And also that in 1850 or 1860, every viewer would have identified the object the girl was interested in as a hymn book. Write in the comments to whom you relate when looking at this canvas. Let's see where else you can find items from the future earlier. Is it just a coincidence that a guy resembling an astronaut is depicted on the roof of a church built between the 1600s and 1800s in Salamanca? Strange, isn't it? In this cathedral, known as the New Cathedral, something surprisingly modern is depicted on the facade at the entrance. Resembling an astronaut in a helmet, this spacesuit, complete with tubes and boots, accurately reflects what a person in space would be equipped with. A photo that spread across the internet can easily make someone think and even reconsider their position on the reality of ancient aliens' existence. But unfortunately, or fortunately, this castle has a key. Over the centuries, the cathedral suffered such damage that eventually a restoration project was needed. In 1992, this document led to the reconstruction of the entrance to the cathedral. One of the artists in charge of the project decided to give the work an individual approach and to include two modern sculptures. The explanation for why an astronaut was chosen was that it was a symbol of the 20th century, when one of humanity's greatest achievements was space travel and landing on the moon. What wouldn't you do for the greatest photograph of an event? Perhaps even violate the secret of time travel? Such thoughts seem to have crossed the mind of one of the photographers at the final match of the World Cup in 1962. Brazil emerged victorious over Czechoslovakia in this match, but it was the device held by the photographer that captured the Captain Mauro Ramos lifting the trophy that became famous. It seems that the man participating in the press conference is holding a flip phone in his hand, which appeared on the market only in 1996 and wasn't popular until the mid-2000s. Considering that flip phones are largely out of fashion now, it suggests that the time traveler might be from around 2007, when the Motorola Razr ruled the world. But skeptics express doubts even here. They say it's quite possible that this photographer is actually holding what's called a box camera. A device of the time could be operated with one hand. In this case, it seems that something resembling a camera flash is attached on top of it. Personally, I'm for the Motorola version. I had one like that for sure. The aura of mystery continues to surround the excavation of a curious artifact that was unearthed from the depths of an ancient tomb in China. In 2008, several news agencies reported that a team of archaeologists made a mysterious discovery. Reports described archaeological excavations in a sealed tomb from the Ming Dynasty in China, conducted by a team of archaeologists and journalists. When one of the tombs was being cleared of soil before being opened, something strange happened. As they tried to remove the earth covering the tomb, a piece of stone suddenly fell off and struck the ground with a metallic sound. Researchers picked up the object and found that it was a ring. Removing the soil covering it and examining the object more closely, they were shocked to see that it was a watch. When archaeologists further examined the discovery, they turned out to be modern Swiss ring watches with the inscription Swiss and the frozen time of 10:06 a.m. For some, the discovery could only mean one thing: evidence of time travel. But was it a hoax? Or did the intriguing artifact somehow end up out of place? How could it happen that in a tomb sealed for 400 years and belonging to the Ming Dynasty, which ruled from 1368 to 1644, there was an artifact that could only have been created after the founding of the present state of Switzerland? Some researchers refer to the possibility that time travelers from the future dropped Swiss watches in the ancient place and accidentally left them there. Since the accessory is feminine, it doesn't surprise me. What does the female nature do? Emotionality, beauty, and forgetfulness. There's little evidence of this, but the idea is intriguing. Undoubtedly, All time travelers try to remain unnoticed, but not everyone succeeds. Some leave their traces in photos, while others simply do something outrageous that cannot go unnoticed. On February 25, 2003, a man named Andrew Carlssin, arrested for insider trading, claimed to have traveled from the year 2256. In just 2 weeks, 44-year-old Andrew turned his $800 into $350 million in profits by making 126 stock market transactions in the United States. Despite the high risk of each investment, his trades brought him extraordinary profits. This news baffled traders on Wall Street. The strange strokes of luck quickly caught the attention of federal investigators from the Securities and Exchange Commission. They were convinced that Carlssin's success couldn't be attributed to luck. As a result, he was arrested for insider trading. During a 4-hour interrogation, Carlssin mentioned that he had traveled through time. He arrived from the year 2256, knowing which stocks were supposed to rise to make a fortune. In his confession, he said it was too tempting to resist. He planned to make it look natural, lose a little here and there so it wouldn't look too perfect. However, he was caught off guard. Authorities were convinced he was lying, calling him insane. However, they couldn't establish where Carlssin got this information from. To prove his confession, the time traveler said he would be willing to reveal the cure for AIDS, the date of the US invasion of Iraq, and the exact location of Osama bin Laden. He wanted to return to his time machine and go back home. Andrew refused to disclose the location of the device out of fear of ending up with the wrong people. Carlssin spent about 2 months in prison before an unknown benefactor posted $1 million bail for him. Then Andrew was supposed to meet with his lawyer, but didn't show up. The US Paranormal Defense Agency couldn't track him and speculated that he returned to his time ship and traveled to the future. There's a theory that the bail benefactor was an agent from his time. He brought him back, taking away the transportation device. And the punishment for the offender will be an interstellar mission into deep space, which will take about 100 years. Carlssin will spend the rest of his life constantly exploring the stars. And for those who want to embark on such a time travel journey, there's somewhere to turn. No, it's not a familiar psychotherapist. In 1997, a newspaper clipping with an advertisement for time travel went viral. The owner of the advertisement was looking for someone who could travel back in time with them. The movie Safety Not Guaranteed was based on this event. And these moments have become part of our reality, serving as remarkable evidence that time travel is not as impossible as it seems. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey. Time is just one dimension of the world, and who knows what else we'll discover in the depths of its mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because only here you'll be the first to learn about new discoveries. See you!